Hello, world, and welcome back to the Taxidermy Tech Network. My name's Sarah Darville. I'm Ken's daughter, the owner of Taxidermy Tech and Expressions of Wildlife. Today, I am joined by one of the alumna from the Taxidermy Tech Network, and her name is Ashley Stewart Rollins. Ashley is the owner of Meadows Taxidermy, and she took the basic whitetail course at the Taxidermy Tech school. And so Ashley is going to share with us some of her experiences with getting involved in the industry, where the name of her business came from, and some tips and tricks that she's learned while participating in competitions. So we hope that you enjoy the rest of this interview. And without further ado, here's Ashley. So with you, Ashley, we want to start with your name of your business now, and we'll go further into the story behind the name, but basically just briefly telling everybody the name of your business and where you're located currently, where you do work.
Meadows Taxidermy in Graham, Alabama. I'll be doing it out by my house.
Nice. So you have like a shed that you work out of, and you're on your own property.
Mm-hmm. I got a shop.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah. I call it my she shed.
The she shed. And so is that where you are now with all of your mounts on display behind you?
Well, my building's quite not ready yet. So I'm working out of my laundry room right now. I do all the dirty work outside, come in and do my mountain in here. So yeah, but I'll be out there by the fall. We're almost done with
it. Nice.
Gotta do what I gotta do.
So Dad started in the bathroom of our house, and he tells everybody that story, and it's a true one. And he moved out to a shed that they put up closer to our driveway. So it was like a wonderful move out of the house, and really all the work being done out there, but you have a place to put it on display so that people can come and look at your work too.
Exactly. Yeah. It's kind of embarrassing like now, like the way I am, but I'm like, I got to start somewhere. So
yep. Yeah. Well, now I want to go deeper into the name of your business, because I looked into a little bit about what you've been interviewed on already, and some of just the things that you've put on your Facebook. And one of those things was just about the name of your business. So I was wondering if you could just tell us why you named your business what you did, and anything else that you want to add on to that.
Well, it's named after my papa, Aaron Meadows. I never got to meet him. He passed when my mom was young. I don't really know why I named it after him. I guess just to bring that back, I guess you would say, in honor of him. So, he was a really good businessman, really good at selling and dealing with land. He started a campground on Lake Wedowee, so he was just really good with people in business. But I got this out, he started back in 1967, and his first ad in the newspaper, notice to all hunters, taxidermist office now open at Newell, Alabama. For your trophies mounted, see Aaron Meadows for the finest taxidermy work, deer heads mounted on neck or shoulder forms, spots, bobcats, raccoon, quail, owls, hawks, ducks, fish, etc. But a lot of people liked him, and they said he did really good work. But I thought that's pretty cool. I'm going to hang that in my shop when it's done. And here's a picture of his stuff. I don't know if you can see that or not.
Oh, yeah.
But he had a room full of stuff. My mama kept it up after he had passed. All kinds of stuff. Two-headed calf, snakes, ducks, anything you think of. A leopard.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like the legacy. It's holding on to the legacy of the work, and then also the name. And that's really awesome. It's like, I'd love to be able to carry on the legacy of what Dad's done, but I am just not good at taxidermy. It's so hard. It's such hard work. So I won't be able to carry the legacy on that way. This is kind of my contribution to it, is because I know what my dad also wants is community around this. This industry has grown a lot, And to see it grow into what it's become is beautiful in that more people are involved. But you always kind of like feel that nostalgia for the small, close community of these kinds of things. And what your grandfather, with buying land and really getting involved with the community, that's what it's about, is building community around your business and people knowing you for being a good person. So that's really awesome to move that legacy through.
Yeah, a lot of people knew him, and he used to raise fish and sell them. He had a bunch of ponds and stuff. So
okay, so now let's move on to you, because now you're carrying on the legacy. So let's talk a little bit about first your unofficial start in taxidermy. In other words, what led you to make the decision to become a taxidermist?
I honestly would have thought I would have never went this way, But if I would have chose something, I would have probably been like, I wanted to do something with animals, agricultural or something. I've always liked taxidermy stuff. Like when I was a teenager, I ordered the catalogs, like the McKinsey ones, and I would just flip through them and stuff. And I used to do like little skull mounts and stuff on things we would kill. I would pick at it for hours with like pocket knives and stuff. I didn't know you could boil it, pressure wash it then, So yeah, I don't know. It just happened.
I wanted to just say you learned the hard way. And
yeah,
that's what's funny about taxidermists is the tenacity of going for something when it's difficult and continuing to play with it and fiddle with it. And then, yeah, I just think that it sounds like with your story, you were naturally already in hunting and fishing. So just kind of in the space where that kind of thing is the next, well, now what do we do with the rest of this animal? And so part of it is being artistic. And so, yeah, that's really interesting.
But my friend did buy out a processor, and he asked if I wanted to wholesale like European mounts, and then I did that for like a year, and then they're like, well, why don't you just start mounting shoulder mounts and stuff? And I was like, that would be something I would like to do, and then I could stay home with the kids too. And so I took it a step further and kind of, started looking into some things and got with y'all.
Yeah. So that like moves us into the next step of what made you take a course? Like what made you take that step of, okay, I'm interested in this, I'm doing Euros and people are liking my work. Now they're asking me, why don't I just go out and start doing taxidermy? Well, there's this feeling of, well, I'm not trained. Is that kind of where you were feeling?
Oh yeah. I didn't know what to do. I'm like, I didn't have no idea what to do. So I put a post on Facebook, and I was like, how do you get started? Do you watch DVDs or the schools or what? And I had some comments on my post, and then I had some guy message me and said, well, I've heard of this school in Pensacola, Florida, and he had heard good things about it. And so looked y'all up, and then called and talked to Mr. Ken for a while, asked some questions, and then I thought on it and asked him some dates of when y'all would be available or whatever. And my grandmother works for Blossom Gas, so she gets to go to Destin every year at a beach house. So I chose that time frame so I could stay down there, and I drove back and forth from Destin to Pensacola that week. But yeah.
Which is how long is that drive?
It took like an hour because the traffic, it was.
Yeah, I think, I mean,
it was worth
normally
it,
I think for like the distance, it is normally an hour. So that's like a really long commute to make daily to get to the class.
Yeah.
Wow. So then did you take more than one class? Was that the class that you took and you felt comfortable from there?
I took the basic whitetail course. I wish I could come and take more. It's just money's tight for me right now. So maybe eventually we can. I do want to come take some more. I'd like to take the waterfowl or even the advanced whitetail. I'd love to do that. So.
Yeah,
Maybe I
for
get on
sure.
that.
Yeah, and this is the nice
I feel
thing
like I can
about
never learn enough.
exactly. Yeah, it's a lifelong thing. And even when you feel like you've kind of gotten one thing, from what I understand, because I definitely didn't master anything, but from what I hear from people is even if you kind of master something and feel like you're really good at it, then you can enhance it even further and start making your own pieces and start making your own molds and things like that. And you just get more invested in the full process.
Yeah. So for now, I've been just trying to learn things from home too. I've just started trying to do some ducks. Really different ball game than deer. They are so fragile. But I want
Yeah.
to learn it all.
Whitetail class is the one that you took. And so that's a really difficult class, by the way, because there's the fleshing part that I have seen grown men walk away from that table crying for. So I want to know what the experience was like for you with the whitetail course.
Um, okay. So day one, I was really nervous. But Ken made me feel really comfortable. Like some people you just meet and they're just specialty right off the bat. Okay. And he's one of those people, always will be. Um, but after he was kind of going through the process every day, I was mind blown. I'm like, I kind of got discouraged for a little bit. I'm like, this is not what I thought it was gonna be, you know. I thought I was gonna walk out of there like a professional. But yeah, it was a lot to take in, but I had done invested myself so much. I'm like, I'm not gonna give up. I want to get better, you know. And he was there to walk me through it even after I got done. Like when I got my first deer at home, I'm like, I wishing I had him right there beside me. But I texted him and he helped me out, and I, I'm just thankful for him, you know, because I don't feel like many people would do that for you, and I learned a lot. It was awesome experience.
Nice. And that's something that I hear a lot too, is that you never realize how much goes into a mount when you look at it. Because it's so beautiful. Or, of course, there's some mounts that you look at and that's like silly. And we make fun of bad taxidermy, but it's like even that was difficult. And that person might have gotten done with it. And maybe they looked at it and thought, this is great. I did such a good job. Maybe they looked at it and they were like, that's really bad. But either way, like it takes a lot of effort to do this. There are steps. If you mess up on something in the beginning, like how does the animal make it to me and the amount of time that it takes for it to get to me? What's the quality of the specimen by the time it makes it to me? So even just factoring in time like that is a huge component of the work you do and whether or not you can actually make it look good in the end.
I wound up crying like that last day of that thing because I was so overwhelmed with everything. And then I just felt like I had finally found what I was meant to do. So it was, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm just glad God led me down this path because I really do feel like this is me.
Mm, yeah. Yeah. That's
I just hope I
beautiful.
can get better and better at it. I'm trying.
So
It's a
let's
lot.
talk about some of the steps that you have taken already to get better, which is competing. Throwing yourself into a competition is one of the best ways to get feedback. And it's objective feedback because it's
Okay.
like not your mentor anymore. Now it's somebody on the outside that's got this really micro, magnifying glass that they're looking at every single little detail. And so I want to know about your competition, and how many times you've competed and what you were awarded at the competition. And yeah, we'll just start there.
Okay, so I've competed once this past year at Alabama. Um, I wound up scoring 86 on my score sheet. So I got red ribbon for my deer and then a blue ribbon for my habitat. But yeah, it was a whole different experience. Like I didn't know what to expect, but I feel better now that I went through it. So I kind of know what to do next time. You know, there's a lot I learned. Like
Yes.
a lot of things that I could have done. So easy things like hair, whiskers that were missing, or just little things. But there's a lot of things that's like my finished work. I could get better at that, but that's hard.
Yeah.
I really got to get better at that part.
So what do you think was like one of the biggest things that you learned about the whole process after having gone through it? Because you approached the competition piece, and of course you're like, well, this one's going to take me a lot longer to do. I know that. But like, what is it that you're doing differently in a competition piece versus a piece for somebody as a customer?
Well, competition piece, like inner ear detail. You want all them little whiskers, your nodules perfect on the nose, muscles spot on, just all those little details.
Yeah, there's something to having an eye for the piece that it's kind of like what I'm trying to get across to people that don't do taxidermy is that when you when you observe a wild animal, it's you have a little bit more leeway with how it can be constructed. Like the face can be maybe one eye's bigger than the other because this is facing the wall and you're not going to see it. And so you think about those kinds of things,
Yeah.
When you're in a competition piece, it has to be perfect because these
Okay.
people are looking for like anatomical details because they've been trained to see this by watching and observing animals all the time, or they're taxidermists themselves in a lot of cases, have been in the industry for a long time. So yeah, when you're doing a competition piece, it's for a different sort of eye. And with your customers, they're going to see beauty in your work because they brought you something that was, not in a state that they would want to observe it or anybody would want to observe it. And so then you make this beautiful piece out of it. So yeah, it's a whole different audience, literally.
Yeah. Yeah, like they're not looking down in the ears with flashlights and stuff. So yeah, it's a big thing. It's a big difference. But I learned a lot. Like even the grooming of the hair, that's a big deal. And I didn't know that before. But walking in there, I slicked my hair down, and I didn't know you had to groom the hair as it was drying. But that's a big thing. Just little things.
Yeah, the little tips and details.
Mm-hmm.
So now moving away from competition and just in general in your business, what's your favorite animal to work on? And it doesn't necessarily have to be the one that you feel most comfortable with, but what's your favorite animal to work on?
I don't know. I like them all. I really do. But I guess I would say deer for now. But I really do like the life-size predators. I've been working on those a little bit. They're really fun. But I can't pick a favorite. I love it all. I'd rather do stuff like that than European mounts, though.
Yeah.
I hope I can steer away from those eventually.
So is that then kind of the piece that you would say, I'm never going to do that again? Or is there another piece that you feel like you're never going to fool with that again?
Well, I attempted a rabbit, and I was thinking that like I would not want to try that again. I think no way. Like their skin is like wet toilet paper or something. But yeah, I do want to try it again. I mean, I'll try anything.
This is something that I don't think people can appreciate about taxidermy either, is the fact that you're doing the work, but you're also running a business. And there will be customers that call to check up on their work.
Oh,
and it's kind of the most frustrating thing you can possibly imagine when you're trying to work and you have people that are like, oh, no rush, I was just wondering, and they have a date then it's definitely clear that they're going to get their work. So I want to know, just for the purpose of other people kind of being able to see your perspective of what's your process as far as scheduling work and ordering supplies, just like management in general. In other words, how difficult is it to run the taxidermy business side of your business?
Well, for me, I'm still considered part-time, I guess, because I haven't got a lot in yet, which I had talked to a couple other people and they say for them it took a few years for it to get built up. And I pray that mine will become full-time. I really do, because I really like it. So for now, me just being part-time, I don't know if it's the right way. It's just the way I've done it. I order my form and stuff for what I'm doing, get it done, get it gone, just repeat it. I just do one at a time. But when I get full time, I'll change that. I'll probably do it, do all my tanning and stuff on multiples and then order in bulk, But for now, just one at a time.
Ooh, that's nice. That's actually really nice when you're learning in the procedure. So would you say then that you stick basically with one animal throughout the whole process?
Well, for now, I just go through the list how it came to me, and then I do it in order for now. But if I get full time, I may consider doing the deer, and then whatever.
Yeah. Nice.
I don't know. I've got to get better on the business side.
Well, hopefully this is like the point of it is to like show that there's so much work that goes on behind the scenes that it feels like you have to get better at the business side, but you don't. There needs to be optics on you, and there needs to be some sort of way that we can do marketing, and just like that's difficult to run all of that. So hopefully that's kind of part of this, is to bring eyes to you, so that that's not something that you have to check off the checklist every day. Maybe that could be something that this network is able to provide for everybody. Like, I have family in, Alabama, and, maybe they're close to you and that kind of thing. So yeah, hopefully this series will invite more conversations among the alumni, and more events and things will spur out of that, meetups and that kind of thing. Because
I've loved to hear how other people, go about things. And I didn't realize how important that was until I got into this, the business part, because you want to run it the right way.
Yeah. Speaking of the right way, I wanted to ask you how your faith informs your work, and the way that you choose to run your business. The part-time aspect of this feels aligned with you. You don't feel the need to have a 9 to 5 in order to be fulfilled. And I'm wondering what do you find fulfilling in this work, and how your faith informs the work that you do?
Well, I've been a stay-at-home mom with the kids. I did have a job until I had JC, and then after she got a little bit older, I went part-time, then had River, and then COVID, and then that's when I started diving into taxidermy big time. But I don't know. I just like being able to stay home with the kids if I'm able to, and I don't know. I'm just hoping it'll turn out to be something full time eventually, so I can be here and do what I really love to do.
Yeah, and it sounds to me that you trust that that is actually what's happening, that you believe so fully in what you're doing that it's fueling you. It makes you want to continue to do this work, because it's hard work what you do.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it, and I've invested so much into it. There ain't no turning back now. I'm gonna keep going and hope that it turns out to be a big thing, And I want to give God the glory through what I do. I won't ever be able to create an animal like He has, but I try my best, and then honor Him through that, because He gives us the abilities and to go out and be able to harvest these animals, and then I like being able to preserve them and mount them so we can look back on those moments.
Yes. So now moving to the reason that I started the series, which is, it was kind of a tribute for Father's Day initially. And so because it's my dad that's running the Taxidermy Tech and Expressions of Wildlife, I have been asking what is something that you'd like to say to my dad or about my dad or whatever it is that you'd like to express to Ken.
Okay. Well, through this whole video, I'm not good with explaining myself and I'm not good with words. Okay. So, but I just think he's awesome. He's been a big blessing to me. I feel bad, like even bothering him because I know how busy he is, but I trust his word when I really need a question answered. And I'm just thankful he takes the time to get back with me when he's so busy. And I just like that he cares too. And then he pushes you to your limits. He's like, well, don't just settle for this. Like he told me, he's like, you need to try to sculpt your own form next time. And I'm just like, what? But him, he's put a fire in me to push me harder. And I really like that about him and just how caring he is. And I appreciate it.
Beautiful. Yeah, no, I think you've definitely expressed it really well. So, well, that draws us then to just the final question that I have is for the audience to be able to find you, where in the physical world and then online, as far as your website or Facebook or whatever it is that you have for people to access you.
Well, as for now, I just have me a Facebook page made, and then I post my work there, and then I'll share it on my personal page, and then maybe eventually build me a website. I'm not really good with computers and stuff, so I guess I need to learn.
Or this is where I could be of assistance once I get.
Okay, I'm gonna hire you.
Yeah, right now. Woo! That's what I was saying. I was like, I need more time so that I can just like, these are things that I can do. So yeah, I would like to eventually make it to where it's at least one place that people could go to access the whole community and have a clickable to get to you. Just like one picture for each person. That way they could access all of your links, whatever we can have. So yeah. Well, Ashley, thank you so much for doing this interview and for scheduling time out of your work, because it's very valuable, the time of a taxidermist, I know. So thank you for taking the time, and we look forward to seeing all the things that you accomplish as you continue in the industry.
Thank you.
So yeah, I wanted to start this series so that not only can the students know each other better, but this is also an opportunity for the public to know you better. And hopefully we're putting everybody's name out there, and just taxidermy as a, industry, because not a lot of people know about taxidermy. Exactly.